This episode is brought to you by Columbia Sportswear. It's snowing again, and that wind chill is killer. But you're not worried about that because you shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection. It's warmth perfected with tiny gold dots that reflect your body heat inside and protect you from the cold outside. No snow or chilly temps can stop you now. Go out anyway. Shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection now at Columbia.com/infinity.
The holidays are a time to feel and create joy. And what could be more joyous than the look on her face as she unwraps a stunning new jewelry piece from Blue Nile? How about getting 50% off your purchase? Blue Nile offers premium quality, priced below traditional retail. Their online experts are available 24/7 to answer any questions and make sure you've picked the perfect gift. For a limited time, you can get 50% off at BlueNile.com. That's 50% off at BlueNile.com.
It's Saturday and the game is on. 10 minutes in, it's 3-0. I'm sipping back an empty can. I don't give a damn if it's 9 a.m. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer, whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
He's giving his effort today, I can tell.
Back at it again with another episode of the Shades of Blue Soccer Show. We are the Blue Testament. My name is Cody Bradley, and I've got Thad Bell and Robert Russert in the studio today.
Good day, all.
The trio's back.
And no special guest, but we're special just all on our own.
Oh,
Of course we are. And Cody, how you doing this morning?
I'm here, aren't I? I made it.
He's got a cauldron hoodie on. He's
It's not morning.
doing cauldron things last night, perhaps. I don't know.
It's not morning anymore either.
You're right.
Just
It
really
feels like it.
It's before 4 on a Sunday. It's morning.
Exactly. No more football, so it's weird.
Yes, I kept my energy up, though, in the intro, right? I got it up there for the intro.
Yes, you did.
I used it. I used every bit I had.
Thad's shaking his head right now.
Glad to know that you got it up for the intro, Cody. That's what we needed to know.
Let's sustain that.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, so this is your preseason wrap-up podcast.
It's the
There you go.
Post preseason pod.
Post-preseason pod. And
Perfectly.
Too many P's for Thad. We're in trouble now.
Practically. Perfect. Postseason.
Every time you do that, you're popping the mic,
Yes,
so
he
be
is.
careful.
Can hear yourself, Thad. Come on.
We're not going to do the season preview yet.
Save that for later.
We've got plans for later in the week for that. So this one should be a fairly short. We'll see about that. Just discussion about preseason.
There is a lot to talk about, and we'll do our best.
There are several things we can discuss. I believe Thad had some points of conversation for us.
Okay, and we started this by I was listing off some things that I'd wanted to see from preseason games that we hadn't seen up to the point where they started streaming it. So I had made this list at that time of things I wanted to see.
So give us one of them.
Number one was I wanted to see them score and how they scored and to see how Pulido worked in that.
Well,
there wasn't a lot of scoring there that
No.
we got to see. The first couple games where they scored 4 goals against the Trialists and then against Cincinnati, which was pretty much just as bad as the Phoenix Trialists.
yeah.
But after that, there wasn't a whole lot of scoring from Sporting.
You are right.
Johnny got one. Kinda got one. And I forget what the other one was yesterday.
Yesterday was Kinda.
Yeah.
Both
That
of
was
them?
it.
Oh, yeah, it was just one. Oh, yeah. So that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I remember at least. I was trying to
In a
recalling
nutshell,
it.
Thad just... I'm sorry, Cody just gave the preseason.
That's it.
That's it.
We're
Yeah.
done? Are we done?
But how did you guys feel that Pulido did? I mean, we can always get in the same argument that we had a couple years ago. Does the center forward have to score to be the most successful center forward? No, but a $9.5 million guy,
Exactly.
you want to see him put the ball in the net or at least setting up a hell of a lot of goals.
Yeah, he didn't look that good, obviously. I mean, there were some bad moments.
He had a couple of bad touches, but there was times where I thought he was doing a lot of the right things, but then nobody else around him was in the right spot to benefit from that.
I saw a bit of creation from him too. He put in Salloi at least once. I don't know. There was definitely more to it than him being hesitant in goal there, or on goal in the box. So he contributed in other ways at least. Yeah,
we don't need the $9.5 million guy. I'm going to keep using that, sorry. We don't need the $9.5 million guy to be hesitant in front of goal. That's a little awkward.
He was, like, absolutely, more than once.
Yeah, and I don't know if I agree that he was, like, that hesitant as much as he was trying to time something a little bit differently, or it just didn't work out that. But I know he was at least a little bit, and other people definitely thought he was. Bob?
Yeah, I mean, I think any center forward, especially whose job is to score goals, has to have that attitude, has to have that aggressiveness, and we haven't seen that yet from him. So
right.
I am hoping it's a matter of, hey, I'm not comfortable yet, getting used to my teammates. He's not in front of a crowd yet, not feeling that whole atmosphere. I think once he gets there and gets comfortable, I think he's going to be fine, because he has shown some very good things. But, we don't want him to have Salloi disease. We don't want him to have Christian Nemeth confidence disease. But unfortunately, we're seeing a little bit of that right now. Just hope it's an anomaly.
It's an early symptom, maybe.
Yeah.
And I do like the point you made that he's not in front of a crowd yet, because some people definitely rise to that.
Oh yeah.
There's practice players, and then there's people who don't look good in practice but perform on the field. And preseason games are just practice to him, so maybe he's not at 100%.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure out what this Shelton guy is and what this Russell guy is, or Salloi is, or Kenda might be a little bit awkward to work off of because he's not a traditional 10 kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like moving parts there that I don't think even the Sporting guys who have been there for a while are used to yet. So,
well, here's my hope that Roger Espinosa, because he's the leader of this team, sits him down and says, "Hey, going into the season, you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. You got this. We got this. We're going to be fine." Because I think Roger has that calming influence, and he can speak Pulido's language.
If you're on the same team, he might have a calming influence.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about old Kirby Shelton on the wing. Do we like this? Is he actually going to start over Gerso? Is that really going to happen?
It's very,
or
very
Johnny for that
very
matter.
possible. I don't think he's starting over Johnny.
Johnny will be starting.
The only reason Johnny wasn't starting was he was in the different pattern for fitness because he came in late because he had a mini Johnny.
My point is this, and people have been saying this too, he's better on the right. Russell is, I think, by far. Yeah. So if Shelton is starting on the right, that's taken away a lot from Johnny Russell in my mind. So it's not really the real Johnny Russell, is what I'm saying. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's done some good stuff for sure. Shelton has. However, there were a couple moments in yesterday's game. He had that breakaway early in the game, and he's there, and he's got one more touch, and too many touches, and it dies.
Yeah.
Which was pretty typical of him before.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't the goal scorer.
Yeah.
I still don't expect him to be the goal scorer.
Yeah.
I expect him maybe to put in a couple more than he did the previous time here. Mm-hmm. But other than that, that's not what I'm looking for out of Khiry.
Yeah.
Hopefully he pleasantly surprises me. So he has that capability. He's a goal scorer in college. I mean, he had to do it at some point. He can do it.
I was pleasantly surprised by his performance in the last game. Yes, there were those frustrating moments, but it's preseason. I know it may be a little different with him because it is so characteristic of him and what he was doing. But I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, his confidence level seems to be up. His skill level seems to be up. I guess those kind of go with each other. But, yesterday's game tactically was his kind of game because they were pressing up on our backs, a lot more long balls out. That left him one-on-one with a defender, and he's got the athletic ability to take those guys on and beat them. Just, the final product just needs to be a little bit better.
Right. Agreed. So how about the other winger we've need to cover, Daniel Salloi? Getting a red card. What's the repercussion for that? Can we start there? What's the repercussion for a red
He's out for the rest of preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So there is none. He was just sent off in the game. There's no.
I don't know. Maybe he can't start the next visit Tucson
Right.
Sun Chip Cup or whatever the hell that is.
I hope they do that next preseason. Like I hope that really happens.
So he can't start, but he comes in on the second team. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk seriously, in Vermees' mind, what does that say?
I know. It just it seems just so pathetic. Like it happened, and I'm just like, oh, Daniel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is going
what
on?
What was your take on what happened there?
I still don't know what happened.
Robert?
We didn't get to see a replay. It kind of looked like an oops, but I don't know. Michael Kuhn made a post on Twitter, I think, about it, and he was not very complimentary of Salloi's actions. But
I was completely unsure if it was a total slip or just a total stupidity. I mean,
exactly. That's why I want to see a
or
replay.
some combination thereof. Well, I just moved the stream back and watched it again, but it's not close, so you can't tell for sure. But it was just like he just kind of fell into the back of the guy's legs. It wasn't like he went into them, sweeping them through or cleats out, but it was like he was doing a chop block or something from the wrong side.
I want in my heart to believe that he will redeem himself this year, but I just don't. I don't think that he will have a good season.
So this guy that you had placed all of Sporting Kansas City's future on at one point, you're now just totally done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a moment in the game yesterday wherein, if you remember, in front of the goal, he had the ball on his right foot, and then he cut it to the left.
Yeah, that was the ball from Pulido. That was a great little pass from Pulido.
But here's the thing. He didn't need to do the cut to the left.
Just
he had
fucking hit
space
it.
on his right foot. He had the defender still trailing. He had the keeper beat. He's got to play that with his right foot and hit that far post, inside the far post. And why does he cut it back to his left? Is it confidence, lack of confidence? Is it trying to overthink things? What is it?
And I thought the same thing when I looked at that too. Is like, why didn't he just shoot it with the right foot?
Yeah.
But the keeper was coming. There was a defender coming into that space.
But he wasn't there yet.
And I questioned that when it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt that he had a better angle on it than we did. Because he's seeing the angle that he's at. Now,
I mean, the cut, it looked good. When he did the cut back and then shot it, I thought it was going to go in. And Peterson was giving him credit, giving the keeper credit. And again, he just kicked it right at him.
Is Salloi a bit of a poser? Does he like to do things that look good? Is that young instinct in him? Yeah, still.
I'm going to go back to Khiry for a second, though. There was that play where he cut it back to his left foot, shot it towards the near post, and that was actually a very good save by the keeper getting down to get that.
It was, yeah.
That was the first keeper, Mira. Yeah, and that was a very good save on his part. That wasn't like sometimes. Yes, the keeper's big save is just being in the right spot because he read the play right. That was back to near post when you wouldn't have necessarily expected that, and he got down with his left hand to get that. That was a good save.
Yeah,
and a good attempt by Khiry. So that kind of leaves me a little more hope that he's going to score a little bit more than what he did before.
I know we're talking about professionals here, but it seems to me Pulido has that disease right now. Salloi has disease right now of they think they have more time than they do, and maybe that's a timing thing because it's preseason. Maybe it's Pulido's transferring from Liga Mix to MLS, and he's got to adjust a little bit in his thinking, but just taking too much time on the ball in the box.
Do you think that MLS defenders are tighter and tougher and faster than Liga MX defenders?
I don't watch a whole lot of Liga MX, but what I've seen in the past, it's been a lot of freewheeling wide open, not as much defense played. But, again, I haven't seen a whole lot.
Not in the box, though.
Yeah.
He can't be used to having more time in the box, I don't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I don't watch a ton of it, but I do watch some of it. And I think like my view of Liga MX for what you're saying would have been like 10 years ago or more. But it is very hit or miss. Some of those teams are really, really, really good, just have a ton of quality players, and some of them are lower MLS quality.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in his mind or anybody's mind, but to my instincts and my viewing, they're taking too much time on the ball in the box. But that's just my opinion. That's why we're here.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the forwards. Should we look at the other parts of the field.
Well, we
didn't talk about Russell, did we? Or Gerso much.
Well, so we did talk about Gerso because we did
a
at least a little bit about Russell, but not Gerso or Hurtado.
Hurtado. What do we like from Hurtado, or did we?
I like his quotes last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
So that's where you're at with him?
More of the same.
I haven't talked to him this year. Yeah. No. I did not see. A lot of people equated him and Khiry to the same thing, and to me, they were completely wrong in that. Hurtado is very much a run hard at the defender and run fast, run hard, wave after wave of the Pacific Ocean pressure, where Khiry was much more smarter about it. I mean, you can criticize him for his goal scoring, or some people criticized him for his final touch or something, or his touch at times, which I thought was better than a lot of people gave him credit for. But Khiry is not the same player as Hurtado. If you look at them in the perspective that they're not going to be highest scoring center forwards, yeah, they're the same. But if you look at what they do differently, they're not the same at all. I was never that appreciative of Hurtado, except as a bring in late to close the game down, run hard at people. He'll knock on 2 goals a year, doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's his biggest use, and I didn't even see that well this year because he missed a couple of games. So we'll give him a pass for at least that role for right now.
Let's get in a quick break here. We will be right back with more Shades of Blue Soccer Show.
But it's a football night. But it's a football night. We can gather all our friends all around the Zoom. That's not a better thing to do. But it's a football night. But it's a football night. When the final whistle blows, we're gonna celebrate tonight. When the final whistle blows, we're gonna celebrate tonight. When the final whistle blows, you know we're gonna feel alright.
All right, Thad, get us going.
One of the things that I was looking for, and I don't think I mentioned this when I was listening to you before the pod, but was how the defense was going to play, because big problem last year was a very porous, open defense at times, trying to be nice, and the too many mistakes. Well, in the ones that we were able to view, one game was not too bad. Then the game against Phoenix was not good. And then the game against New York was not bad. So I really don't know where we're at. The game against Phoenix was a high-pressing, fast team that's going to counter you and try to pounce on every little mistake. Well, that's what killed Sporting last year, was anybody figured that out, did that, and at some point somebody made a mistake and the ball went the other way and was a goal, and somebody make a mistake and they go the other way and it may not be a goal, but just enough of that pressure and all of a sudden no confidence and you're done.
I liked Puncec.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you can get from short preseason appearances, but yeah, I mean, I liked his style. I liked the way he looked. Had some calm moments.
And a little more speed than...
Yeah.
Fontes.
A little more speed.
Barath.
Well, definitely more speed than Fontes, but a little more than Barath.
Yeah. Who also had some pretty good moments.
Yeah. So,
Barath, I mean.
So since we are more or less now talking about the defense, we might as well just continue that whole...
Well, of course, we all know defense starts up top. How do you think Pulido did as far as pressuring the ball,
the
directing
first
it?
defender?
Yeah.
He did all right.
Yeah.
When Sporting is on, they have that good habit of they know when to pressure, and they did it. That they would do it together. They weren't always doing that in the preseason. Again, you have a lot of new people who aren't quite reading everything the same way yet. Hopefully, that does just continue to improve. I mean, I know Vermees has said in the past that you really don't know the team you have until you're like 10 games into the season.
Of course.
Which is fair and understandable. So we really can't judge that totally by, a few preseason games that we only saw 3 of anyway. So that's still something that needs to be seen, but there's signs that they're doing it well. Pulido was doing some pressure. Kinda was doing some good pressure. Obviously, Espinoza, everybody else was doing some. You just need to see it together.
And the key, of course, we haven't talked about it yet, but perhaps the most compelling thing about the whole preseason to me was the midfield, what's going on there. And there was obviously troubles in transition in the midfield. I think three times early in the game, Bukedi had to say, emergency defense there by Besler, emergency defense there by Puncec, and that's not a good sign if we're going to need emergency defending. I think still that we get overwhelmed in midfield number-wise. I think that was one of the Red Bulls' tactics yesterday, to overwhelm us there number-wise, and we just need to be better in transition. But I just have hope that as things go, the more Felipe, Kinda, whoever is going to be in there are going to work together better. Get that ironed out.
Okay, so using the New York game to you were saying like that one of New York's tactics was to try to overwhelm in the midfield because they weren't pressing the defense as hard. So they were
doing it a different way.
But they weren't high pressing that. They were doing it a little farther back and overloading the midfield, like you said.
Yeah.
In every game, I have to back up now, so I apologize. But the troubles last year was mistakes, turnover, and it goes the other way, and nobody can shut it down. Well, quite honestly, it's not new. Okay, that's been a problem for Sporting for several years.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you just had enough speed and enough mental fortitude, and you read the plays correctly and everything else that they were able to shut most of those down.
Mm-hmm.
So even though, like, you could go back to probably 2016 and 2017 and 2018, and there's lots of one-on-ones on Melia. Not as many as last year, but there was still too many.
Yeah.
But there was more pressure from Ike or Besler or somebody else to make that not a necessarily easy shot. Last year, it was straight in and stupidity. Well, yesterday against New York, it was not as bad because the two goals they gave up, one was mental lapse on a corner kick that went in, got cleared out, got played back in, and nobody was guarding the back door because there was three guys back there. Well, I think there was one player back there. So they were overwhelmed in that regard, but that was just one set-piece mistake. The other one was a penalty kick from a guy who hasn't played but 30 minutes in 2 years.
Yeah.
So when Reed made that push on the guy going into the box, he may have not thought it would be a penalty in America, or who would care in a preseason game or whatever. I don't know. But it was, and that was the two goals they gave up. That's not the worst thing. That's not an open, porous running through the midfield. I don't think they gave up all that porous midfield and defense yesterday. Now, the Phoenix game, yes.
Bob doesn't look like he agrees.
No,
then he needs to talk.
I think there were plenty of moments where, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at Ilie. I love Ilie to death, but I think Ilie's it's got a short life in this midfield right now. When Gutierrez gets healthy, I think Gutierrez is going to be more of a physical, more of a reading the defensive side of things player. Ilie is great on the ball, but I just think maybe he's not the answer anymore.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say that
I don't like it, but
yeah, I know. Ilie is the nicest guy in the world.
Oh, he is. Oh, yeah.
And I would like to see it get back to where he was just what he was, but that may not happen.
And it's not all on Ilie. Rogers lost a few steps, and just again, I hope that the organization of that midfield figures things out because it needs to be better.
The midfield is going to change this year.
Yeah.
I would lay a certain amount of money on it. Not too much because I'm not really don't like losing money, but I would lay a certain amount of money that the starting midfield is not going to be the ending midfield this year.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And the starting midfield, if everybody was healthy, would be Gutierrez, Espinoza, Ilie.
You're previewing the season.
I don't know, but like you said, there's some compelling stuff going on in that midfield for sure.
But I will still say that yesterday they were not just giving up tons of all those chances going the other way. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Ilie was perfect. That's not what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go to the Phoenix game, Ilie made two mistakes. Right? And you can say Melia made one of those, so like they can share that one mistake because it was not the smartest pass to where he put it.
Yeah.
But Ilie, if he's totally aware of the field, that guy coming in that stole the ball, because that Ilya did not pass to the other guy. Okay, he passed to Ilya. The other guy came in and took the ball like just on the run. Okay, if Ilya is watching that, he just steps, makes one position change. That guy goes off of his shoulder. He turns with the ball and goes the other way. That's what he would have done 2 years ago. The other mistake was he received a ball, got bodied, which could have been a foul if you have one view of it, or not a foul if you don't have the other. If you have a different view of it, that's fine. I'm not going to argue that was a foul. It could have been, but again, he needed to be aware that that guy was on him and not allow himself to get pushed over and lose the ball at that point. He either needs to, as he's getting pushed over, kick the ball away, foul the guy, trip him, whatever.
He had some good tackles yesterday.
But that was the two mistakes in that Phoenix game that led to goals.
Cody, what do you think of the midfield?
I wanted to talk about Kinda.
Okay,
which we now know how to pronounce his name after hearing them say it. I think that he could have a good year. Any issues I saw, I'm just chalking up to new league, preseason, et cetera, et cetera. But he looks like they were talking about this in the broadcast, that he's just kind of always there, like the ball always kind of finds him, gets himself in good spots. So I dig it. But I still need Felipe in my midfield.
And I think Kinda brings a athleticism.
Yeah.
That explosive ability that we haven't had in there for quite a while.
Quick and speedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Who else is...
I would say more, but I'd be previewing the season. You chastise me for that.
Well, I'm trying to get out of here quickly so I can go curl up in a fetal position. I keep zoning out over here. I'm not going to lie to you. What are we talking about? Soccer or something?
Yes, we are.
Okay, who else? Who else in the midfield do we need to talk about?
We never finished talking about the defense. We were trying to talk about the defense.
It feels part of the defense. Okay, let's talk about the backs. What did we think of Lindsay, Zuzi on the right? What did we think of Martins and?
Oh yeah, Luis Martins. I like it. I think he's gonna have a good year.
And why, Cody Bradley?
He is another guy that I think was getting into the right spots.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little more clever, good with the ball at his feet than maybe the average outside back in MLS.
And defending wise, though,
maybe not so much that. The things I noticed particularly were on the offensive end,
mm-hmm.
but I didn't. If I didn't notice anything on defense, then he's probably doing good.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, I like him there. I don't know if he's the best answer we'll ever have, but I do think he'll be fine.
Okay, then we got Lindsay and Zuzi on the right. What do you guys think of that? Lindsay going to get some time?
I hope so. I said that last year, too.
I think he's going to get more time. I still like Zuzi, and I still think he has the capability to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need to manage him and Rogers' time a lot better. This year is going to be different, and I'm not previewing the season. But it's more spread out this year.
Right. Mm-hmm.
With the exception of Open Cup games.
Yeah.
So my fear is that Peter will find his roster, he'll find his starting 11, and not feel the need to change them drastically, because there will be a lot of games that are, just 1 week apart, not very many midweek games except for Open Cup. But he still needs to. He still needs to not have Roger play 30-plus games. He needs to have Zusi not play 30-plus games. Those guys are, when they're healthy and good, they're fine. They're fine to great. But we need Lindsay playing 15 games at a minimum. We need somebody else besides Roger playing 15, 20 games at a minimum.
So to maybe perhaps summarize my thoughts on the defense, your overall guiding question here, I think Melia needs to step his game up a bit, but I think that comes with having more confidence in his back line and more confidence all over team-wise. I think it's going to come with that. I think we've found our center back pairing. I think our wide backs are serviceable. I just think it's going to be the answer in the midfield, and to me, the answer is a certain answer right now. I won't elaborate on that. But I just think the midfield needs to be figured out, and I think we're going to be better than last year for sure. Because how could we be worse?
True that.
Oh, it could be Cincinnati bad.
Could be, but we're not going to be.
Nah, can't be that bad.
Even USL teams are not that bad.
Yeah. Dia. We didn't mention Dia.
A lot of people have been complimenting him.
Yeah,
I didn't see much of the second half yesterday, so I need to go back and watch and see how he did. But
yeah, I think he's going to be a good addition. He'll come in handy this year.
Some more athleticism.
Right.
Yeah, he could be challenging for some time.
Definitely.
It's interesting because like I see some people complimenting like how he played in certain points of the game, and I'm like, I wasn't seeing it that good. It was all right. He definitely has the speed and some of those other things. There was definitely some very good positioning at different times, but there was also sometimes I thought he didn't save a ball where he could have done so. He didn't make a pass, and he played the safe way out, which probably is the right thing to do in a lot of situations, but not all. He had some options, I think, that he didn't take sometimes, which I think maybe when he's more time back with the team, that'll come to him quicker.
Right.
But I mean, I liked him when he was here before. I didn't like to see him go.
What else we got?
I mean, I think we have the pieces, and we need to talk about this part of it too. Best defense is a good offense, many people say. And I think we have with Pulido a good man who can hold the ball up. I think we got with Kinda a guy who can attack, in electric fashion through the midfield. But I think what's really going to be the determination is okay, when we lose the ball on those counterattacks or those build-ups, are we going to be able to react properly? And that's, to me, going to be the difference.
And that will partly depend on being healthy, partly depend on being mentally healthy.
Yeah.
Aware. You can be a slow team and still not give up those stupid chances.
Well, I think we're a faster, more athletic team.
We are, but I'm just saying you can be a slow team and not give up the stupid opportunities that Sporting gave up last year.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is just being in the right spot, playing the spot better. I know Vermees would sometimes say, well, they just needed to be smarter about it. Well, he's right. Yes, people wanted a faster guy back there, and that's cool. But you could have still played it smarter. Some of the mistakes that Fontes made, a La Liga center back should not have made those mistakes. It had nothing to do with him being slow at that point.
And you would think the veterans we have, Besler, Espinoza, et cetera, would know those things they need to be doing position-wise.
And they do.
Yeah.
But a lot of that just comes with being wore down. So, I mean, when you're not as fit, you're tired, you make mental mistakes. And I know as in shape they are, it's less the being tired in the game as being mentally tired from how the season went, from how the confidence level went.
Oh, yeah,
all that
definitely.
Stuff. Do you want to talk about any like the other guys like the Sporting KC2 former Swope Park Rangers guys that were up there?
So I was struggling at getting that out.
That took you like
Sporting Kansas
30
City
seconds to say Sporting Kansas City too.
I know, it just doesn't want to come out there. But because the goalie, John Pulskamp, played well when he was in there. In fact, he played better than some others who did.
Yeah.
Kave Rad.
I liked his game.
Academy guy that signed with SKC2.
Still struggling hard with that.
But he was one of the better players as an academy guy playing for Swope Park Rangers last year. I like that kid. I would, you got to see how he continues to grow, but he could be one of the next ones that's signed that did an academy to the B team to the first team. Yeah, he could be through that pipeline, and it'd be good to see him do that. He's got the potential.
So, scale of 1 to 10, what's your enthusiasm for the season from what you've seen from preseason? Thad?
6.
Cody?
6 feels right.
6, okay. I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go 7.2. I think we'll find out the answers to our doubts pretty early in the season.
I'm calling it. That was your post-preseason podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Blue Testament KC. Join us at thebluetestament.com and leave us a comment. And we will talk to you soon. Go Sport Egg! I need a Pedialyte.
Don't seem so tough. And 3 own goals. skipper has just been sent off. Some punters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake